You would think all of these new projects emerging with members of Lancome in the lineup would start to sound boring or at the very least samey. And to be fair, it's early days, but so far, you'd be thinking wrong. All Smiles Tonight may be the first record from gothic alt-folk trio Poor Creature, but it is by no means a debut. All of its members are deeply embedded in Ireland's folk scene, where traditional tunes meet avant-garde techniques and presentation. Cormac McDiarmid and John Dermody are members of the supernova that is Lancome, while Ruth Clinton performs and records with Landless, a vocal quartet who are responsible for Lurach, one of my favourite albums from last year. So All Smiles Tonight can be described as yet another contribution to the canon of contemporary Irish folk music, all stemming from a scene that is characterized by cross-pollination and collaboration. But it's not just that. Poor Creature, along with the other projects emerging from the scene, have managed to carry out an amazing feat. Because all of these bands and projects are involving some of the same faces repeatedly, and yet none of them sound similar. While the building blocks are much the same, you're never going to mistake a Poor Creature track for something coming from Lancome or Landless or Oxen. So what is it that sets Poor Creature apart? Well, for starters, there's a sort of mischievous supernatural presence on this record. Opening track Adieu Lovely Erin obscures Clinton's wavering vocals behind building waves of woozy instrumentals and jagged percussion. And it must be said that John Dermody's free jazz inflected drumming creates a disorienting feeling across the LP. André Nandon sees Clinton singing in a round with herself before the introduction of Cormac McDiarmid's vocals absolutely break the whole song open. It feels like stumbling upon some kind of fairy feast, disturbed but totally transfixed by the sight before you. And how can we mention the otherworldly without talking about the ecstatically spare closer Willie O? Sure, we've all heard a parting song before, but in this one, the titular Willie O freely admits to his lover that he is but a ghost. The other major point of interest in All Smiles Tonight, for me at least, is the band's choice of country and Americana songs that in many settings, including their original genre, would veer into hokey and camp. Lead single The Whole Town Knows is a ballad about infidelity popularised by Philomena Begley and Ray Lynham that Poor Creature turn into a buzzy duet that points to the anxiety and dread of the climate crisis. And the soft, fresh Loreen sees McDiarmid drawing out the ache at the heart of a Louvain Brothers tune. Meanwhile, the title track wears its country origins on its sleeve, waltzing along eerily with standout vocal performances from both Clinton and McDiarmid. All in all, Poor Creature managed to balance their perceived low culture influences and their perceived highbrow impulses. And they take the harder edges of Ireland's folk scene and they wear them down. And then they run them through a portal to another dimension and back. Several times. All Smiles Tonight is a record that feels like it has been dug up from some dark, damp woodland. And if it wasn't clear, that is a very high compliment.